in and out of hospital. From one hospital to hospital B to hospital C. Each time I go in, 3 to 5 bags of blood has been transfused. The doctors didn't know what was going on with me. Finally, after I went in for what was known as the anal fistula operation, and after 6 operations, the doctor told me that you have to go next door. There's another chap, he's a gastroenterologist. This is the colorectal surgeon telling me to go to the next doctor here. And when I went to see him, he looked at me, after 2 sessions, he said, "Sorry, I can't help you. You got to go to another hospital." So I went to another hospital. Another hospital, the guy looked at me and he said, "I think you got Crohn's disease." Before I was sent to, let's say, hospital D, the doctor in hospital C told me I got 1 of 4 diseases. He said I had ulcerative colitis, I had inflammation of the rectum, then he said tuberculosis of the rectum, and he said you might have Crohn's disease. I didn't know what Crohn's disease was. I went online, I checked what the disease was all about, but I had lost, this is nothing, I've got more photographs here in my phone, which I can give it to you. I lost 42 kilograms in close to 42 months. That means 1 pound every month. When I came back from Australia in 2015, November 22nd, I went to the doctor, and from then on, I would bleed almost a quarter cup of blood every day when I went to the bathroom. And then one day I was shaving, I fell down. Went to the hospital 2 days, 3 days, MRI, MRA, nothing wrong, go home. Same thing, MRI, MRA, I went home. Up to today, I've spent close to 168,000 plus Ringgit on medical bills. I just calculated because somebody asked me how much I spent, then I calculated 168,000. So each time there was a story, I think Keith posted something about this Grab lady who was driving 12 hours, single mother, and she became a BE. And I used to share the story with a lot of Grab drivers. And I always ask them, can you tell me what is the most expensive bed that you slept on? And everybody will say, this brand, that brand, Omo, Dunlopillow, and all that. I say, no, my friend, the most expensive bed that anyone can sleep on is the hospital bed. You know what I mean? So, and then Kelvin sent me a nice graphic that says that the medical industry in Malaysia next year, 2020, is going to be worth 80 billion ringgit. Wow. Now, who's making that kind of money? Somebody's making that kind of money. If I have spent 168,000 plus, can you imagine Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. B is going to spend? And that's not inclusive of when a father or mother or sister or brother stays at the hospital. And even if it's a government hospital, you don't pay. But they say, oh, this medication is not available in this hospital. You have to buy it outside. This is not available, you have to buy it outside. You take a Grab, it's going to cost you. You take medical leave from it's productive, or emergency leave, it's productivity gone down the drain. Anyway, fast forward, on the 16th, the story started, how I met Kelvin, Cindy, and Crystal, and Ili. On the 16th of October, I came out of a flight, 16th of October, 2018. I came out last year. I collapsed on the tarmac of the aircraft. I went to the Starbucks. I got up, somehow went to the Starbucks. I called the Grab, I went home. And from the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, right until the 25th, every day I go to the bathroom 11 to 12 times. There was one day I counted 13 times. And I was taking 6 to 8 Paradols. I mean, how many paracetamol or painkiller can you take in a day? Right, I've been taking 8, 10. Nothing happened. Finally, at 4 o'clock on the morning of the 26th, on the 25th of October, I WhatsApped the doctor. He said, I can't help you because I'm overseas. You have to go to the emergency ward. And they kept me in the emergency ward for almost 12 hours. All kinds of tests, including MRI. And they made me drink a huge bottle of drink for your, it's like a dye to check. And it tasted terrible, you know. And I drank almost 1 liter of it. Then I went to the ward. By the time they found me a bed and I went to the ward, it was almost 2 a.m. on the 26th morning. Now this is the biggest story that's going to happen. On the 26th morning, the doctor came, he looked at me and he says, Dato, I don't have any good news for you. And I looked at him, I was lying down in my bed, and he says that I have to give you a life-saving operation. Now what does life-saving operation mean? If they don't operate you, it's game over. You know what I mean? So I had my phone on my bed. I didn't call my wife, I called my sister, and I said, listen, they need to do an operation. They want me to sign the indemnity form, so I signed the form. I went into the OT, I was prepared, and in the OT, the operation took between 6 and 7 hours. By the time I came back to the ward, a lot of things happened. I was basically wearing diapers for 2.5 months from there, from the 26th. You can see that, that's my father-in-law. This photograph is me. You know, the Muslims, before you pass away, right? They have this, I don't know whether the Muslims here, they have this prayer, they call it Yasin. But when you pass away, they say Al-Fatiha. The priest already came to my house to give me what was known as the last rites. Because no one knew I could survive. Nobody knew. Even I knew I would not survive. But something happened. Eileen, I don't know, she's not here today. Eileen is a lady that I work with. She came with another secretary and the financial controller to my home and said, we have something that has come from Japan. And by that time, it has already sold a few million ringgit. And they said, can I come with some friends to visit you? And I said, okay, why not? So they came. So Cindy came, Calvin came to my home, Crystal and Eileen, and I took up the box, 2 sachets of Shiruto. I took it. Next morning, it's a nice, warm, sunny day. I had a glass and a spoon. So each time I want to call my wife or my children, I used to use the spoon and mom. Ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? But before that, every day, they have to change diapers. You know Pampers? The brand was not Pampers, it's called Diapers or something else, but it is, you know, almost 6-7 times. Because I was a little bit of a, you know, I had this, I wouldn't say psychotic, I had this psychological thingy that I should not be wearing diapers when there's something that's wet down there. So I made them change. And then each time I did the small business, I have to do it in a cup, you know, like the one that they give you in the hospital. But what happened in the ward, when I was on the ward on the 26th morning, left-hand side, they put the Muslim music, passed away. In front of me, passed away. This side, passed away. That side, passed away. Then I thought, wow, why did they put me in this ward? I normally stay in the private ward, but they put me in the public ward. Left, right, center, front, gone. In the days I was staying there. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, I think it's also time to check out, you know. It's a Hotel California, you can check in, but you cannot check out. You know what I mean? So I went home and I was like depressed. And before that, since 2015, 2016, I was seeing a psychiatrist, you know, for depression, you know. The doctor said I have major depression. People like that can go and commit suicide. Because I was healthy, I was a media secretary to the foreign minister of this country. I used to travel in a month, a few days here, New York, London, all over the world. I had my television show on TV, from 1996 or 1995, right until 2001. I was having a talk show, current affairs, business, health, and so on and so forth. But I asked myself, what has happened to me? Then I realized, after the Shiruto thing, the ward, I went home, when I saw people passing on to the next world, I said, this is it, And the priest came and said, okay, be prepared to go, and all that. So I said, okay, I'm ready to go. Okay, settle everything, your will, your house, whatever you have. Then after they visited, the next morning, this is the bingo day, somewhere in December last year, I took 2 more sachets. I called my children, very nice day, all went to the swimming pool to have a swim on a Saturday. My wife was probably in the kitchen because there was a neighbor doing some renovation, a lot of noise, nobody heard me. Is there a chair here? Okay, pass me your chair now, you can just put it here. This is what I did. This was the bed. I sat on the side of the bed. I pushed myself up. I walked to the bathroom, I threw my diapers, and I had a shower on my own. After 2.5 months. And that is only after my 4th sachet. And when my wife came into the living room, she saw me. She said, hallelujah. She could not believe I can get up and walk. Nobody believed. That particular weekend, I went to church. Even the priest saw you, he walked like that. He thought he was seeing a ghost. Everybody thought they were seeing a ghost. Because nobody gave me a chance. So I'd like to say thank you very much to Be International, to Shiruto, to ask the Yapuntai to come here, because we're doing a lot. We are very happy with the professor, what he's done for us. There is a lot of hope. In fact, when I spoke to the doctor, one particular day before I was warded, this was in August last year, I lied down on the doctor's bed and they said, you better do something for me. I'm not leaving your consultancy room. Oh, okay, I'll ward you in. Went to the ward, 26,000, 28,000 later, come up. And October 26 was the day, 26 was the day everything turned around for me. And in December, after Cindy, Kelvin, Eileen and Crystal came over, everything changed. So I have to say thank you very much to them. Today my wife is in Sarawak, otherwise she would give you the testimony. She's doing a home party in our village in Syria. Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you to Dato Edward.